69. Metaphorically 69. Ooh, perverts.
Hey, what is going on, guys? Hey, here with another Chaos Hero Nightmare video, and now that I have finally hit Master's rank, we'll see how long that lasts. I wanted to make a quick guide on the team that you've been seeing. Obviously, there's no surprise. Tressa, Cassius, Mika, Tressa, Cassius, Mika, Tressa, you know, the usual. I'm pretty sure there's a Hugo. Oh, no more Hugos. Oh, Maylin, Cassius, Mika. That's freaking interesting. But yeah, the Tressa Cassius Mika team that you've probably been seeing all over the leaderboards dominating is the team to use, obviously. And today I wanted to make a quick guide on how you can achieve, and maybe not masters, but at least the 500 points, the 500,000 points that you need, sorry, to get the reward record rewards. It's only 50 gems, and these rewards really aren't all that. You definitely don't need this, but if you want a cool little sticker, just hitting the 500,000 once is enough to get your sticker, you know, as a token of you playing the season or some sort. And if you want to go even higher like me, all the way to up to Master's rank, even though I'm only, what is it, rank 166, there's some demons out here, rank 1, rank 2, I'm not touching that. Until I drop below Masters, I'm probably not going to edit my builds, but I'm going to show you guys what I have so far and how you can kind of copy it and do the same so you can do it in your runs. Starting off with the first half, how do you go to the teams actually? Is it right here? With rewards? Oh, yeah, let's just do the top one that I have. Starting off with the first half. First half does not matter. As long as you're not using Cassius or Mika in your first team, you just need to kill the boss within 5 turns in order for you to clear, basically. The first half really doesn't matter at all, and you can, it's the easiest part about this, basically. You can use whatever team you want, provided you don't use Cassius or Mika, because obviously you need them for the second team. Now, you can do Tressa, Hugo, and Mika, so you may have a choice to put Cassius up here, but honestly, the easiest team for down here is obviously the full free-to-play team of Tressa, Cassius, and Mika, which everyone has. Well, maybe if you don't have a Cassius, sorry, sorry in advance, but most people should have a Cassius by now. The full 4-star team is all you need to clear the second half. But like I said, the first half doesn't matter at all. Just make sure you use your strongest teams that clear within 5 rounds in order to pass. You're going to clear within 5 rounds, so you get those extra 5 rounds in the second half, so you have more time with Tressa and Cassius. While it doesn't matter, here are my builds for it anyway. My Mika build has been the same since I got her, to be honest. We have 2 prepare to subdues, 2 flash slashes. We got this aggressive mutant down here. It's pretty basic, not the best, but I like it, and I haven't seen a reason to change. Veronica, all over the place. We do have the 3-0 cost draw 2 repose, but honestly, everything else is just, I don't know what I was doing when I made this build. But if it works, it works. Sucks that the 2 basics are back, but this is before they added the save data explanation and all that, so I didn't know what the heck I was doing. And Ray, pretty simple, 6-card deck. I really only use the draw 2s, as you can see, plus 40% damage to void cards, even though there's no void members on the team. That's just how much this first half doesn't matter. You can clear it pretty easily. Now, for the main topic of the video, the Tressa, Cassius, and Mika comp. If you've seen my guide video, you already know how Tressa works, basically, but I'll explain it just in case to those who may not understand yet or those who may not have watched. Tressa's main epiphany that you want to get right here is the Shadow Reload upgrade card, the one that when healed by a skill card, create 1 Shadow Dagger. And the Shadow Dagger is right here, the 0 cost Shadow Dagger. Whenever you get healed by a skill card, you create 1 of these. And you have 3, if you have 3 duplications, every time you get healed by 1 skill, you make 3 daggers, so on and so forth. If you have 4, you create 4 every time you get healed. If you have 2, you create 2 every time you get healed. Pretty basic. This is her bread and butter. Don't use anything else unless you have this epiphany. Keep rerolling the chaos until you get this epiphany. Hopefully you get some duplications. Even if you don't get 3, even if you only get 2, let's go back down here. This run that I had 633,000 in, I was using a pretty bad Tressa build. None of the right, well, I had the right epiphany on this, but I only had an extra duplication, only 2, and this vital attack was pretty bad. But we still managed to get 633,000, and I still really didn't know what I was doing at the time. But let's go back up. Like I said, Shadow Reload upgrade, when healed by a skill card, create 1 Shadow Dagger. That's basically the only thing that you need Everything else that I'm about to mention is just per preference, but you do have a lot more options for these or for her other cards. As you can see, I have no Divine Epiphanies, but that doesn't really matter in the slightest. I do have way more Divine Epiphanies on my supports, but we'll go over those later. For the Unsheathed Dagger, I did get the exhaust one, so I have a smaller deck. So once I use this, it's gone out my deck. It creates the 4 daggers, but when I use this once, it's gone forever for the rest of the fight since it has exhaust on it. That's why I picked this one, but even if you have the 0 cost one, that works well as well. It doesn't really matter, like I said, the only one that is really important is Shadow Reload. And for the third and final epiphany on Vital Attack, I did say none of the other epiphanies mattered, but this one is pretty nice as well because you're going to be stacking so much agony on the enemy. This is probably the best choice that you can get as it has infinite scaling. For every 1 agony on the target, you do 10% more damage, and Tressa stacks up tons of agony. You might think that 10% is small. I know I did at the start, that's why I've been avoiding this, but when I really got to know what this epiphany does, this has been my favorite since then. The 10% adds up. This 133 times 3 turns into like a 5,000 multiplier if you do have enough agony stacks, which makes it really great and does like 30k damage to the boss at once. But yeah, those are my go-to epiphanies for Tressa. Obviously, we keep these. Those are both 0 cost, which helps out with Cassius's quest, and they don't cost anything, so you might as well just keep them. No point in upping the save data cost to remove them. Obviously, I removed the 2 basics. Those don't really matter. Those are 1 cost. Don't really care about those. And I did keep the heal, because the heal, like I said, gives her more shadow daggers every time she's healed with a skill card. That is pretty much it for the Tressa build. Oh, I can go over the equipment too, I guess. Pretty basic. I wanted to get the Void Ball. I think Cassius has it on him. Yeah, I wanted to get this for her, but no luck. Doesn't really matter. This blue one works just fine. Increased damage amount by 12%. Pretty nice. And then this one is plus 30% damage amount as well. Just stacking on damage and damage and damage. And obviously this is the discard one. But honestly, this one is pretty useless because I'm getting the 3 shadow reloads as soon as I start the turn anyway. I really only ever discard 1 card, and that is Mika's deluge card because it's initiation. I don't really use it at the start, so this is really the only one that I happen to discard, but you can replace this for anything really, and these equipments are very flexible. Just try to get what you can get. The only thing that does matter for Tressa is the shadow reload. Moving on to Cassius. Unlike Tressa, who needs only 1 specific epiphany, Cassius is a lot more specific in what you need. I'm talking this one right here. This is a must-have, no question about it. Choose 1 out of 4 quests to start, and you always want to start his 000 quests. This being is because every time an ally uses a 0 cost card, aka Tressa's Shadow Daggers, he creates one of these cards 000, and this does 40% damage for each attack card used in the turn. And you're going to be using an infinite amount of Tressa daggers, so this just keeps stacking and stacking and stacking, similar to the Vital Attack epiphany that I have on Tressa, and this can get up to like 2,000, 3,000 damage multipliers. I'm telling you, the number may start low at first, but it gets up there as you keep stacking. So this one is a very, very important epiphany for Cassius. If you don't get to choose 1 out of 4, reset, I don't care. This is the one that you need. Another one that this one, nah, I'm gonna say it's needed as well, because there is another option that you have for this, but this one just clears it in every way. This is when a quest is completed, create 1 quest card. And completing quests with this team isn't hard at all. You're gonna be completing quests left and right, one after the other, 10 quests in a row, I'm telling you. And after you complete a quest, it creates 1 random of these cards. And while using his own quest cards don't exactly contribute to his quest bar, they're still pretty useful, especially the full house one right here, which is a draw 1. Every time you roll this, you just draw another card, draw another card, draw another card, infinite draws basically every time you roll this. This one is also pretty nice, giving you 2 morale, which is a 40 damage buff, resolve and fortitude. The resolve and fortitude don't really matter. Well, maybe they do, because the boss wasn't doing no damage to me anyway. Maybe it's because of the resolve and fortitude that I noticed that he wasn't doing any damage to me. And then the triple one is probably the most useless one. 110% damage and heal 110%. It's okay. The heal doesn't contribute to creating Tressa Shadow Daggers. If you get it, just use it. Doesn't really matter. And of course, this is going to be the one that you use the most because this is the quest that you're choosing at the start. For his choose one out of quest cards, the 000. Like I said, it just keeps doing more damage the more attack cards you use in the one turn. And since you're healing with Tressa constantly, you're always going to have a steady stack of Shadow Daggers over and over again. So getting the dice trick when the quest is completed to create one quest cards is very important. You might say, "Oh, it's 2 cost. That's very expensive." Oh well, you're gonna have spares amount of AP in this team comp anyway, because you're barely gonna be using any anyway. Everything is 0 cost. You can afford the 2 AP. Copy this if you can. 2 copies is honestly enough because then if you get 3 or more, you start not being able to hold anything in your deck. You just keep creating cards, and it's kind of very annoying to manage the more you get. So I'd say 2 is the sweet spot. Joker, obviously, no epiphanies for Joker. Everybody knows what Joker does. Find any card you want, place it in your hand. If you can get a duplicate of this, pretty nice. Not really needed though, but it is nice to have. Now this one is the only one that I messed up on the build with. Instead of getting discard all cards in hand and draw one, blah 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 blah, I should have picked. Let's go over to combatants. Cassius, save data. No, we go to cards actually. Cards. I should have picked this one right here. Move all cards from hand and discard pile to draw pile, then draw 5. This is basically a free draw 5. Well, it costs 1, but you get what I mean. And you'll see that while you may think you have an infinite amount of cards when you're doing this mode, you do eventually run out. And then you just have this card sitting here. Being able to draw 5 more and start doing combos over and over again when you thought it was already over is pretty nice. The discard one is fine if you have it. Obviously, you can always have a perfect deck. I don't have a perfect deck, but this one is honestly my favorite one. And if you can pick this up with everything else that I just mentioned, I think your build would be perfect. Honorable mention, this one is also fine as well. Select up to 5 cards from the discard pile, move them to the top of the draw pile, so you draw them next turn. That one's pretty nice as well. Definitely the second choice for this specific team. But this one right in the middle is definitely my go-to. Oh, the equipment, almost forgot, like Tressa. This one, very helpful. At the start of your battle, change the cost of one of your cards in hand to 0 for 1 turn. Pretty self-explanatory. Playing the card for 0 is always nice, and this could be any one of your teammates' cards. It doesn't have to be Cassius specific, like Tressa's Shadow Reload. I don't have any Divine Epiphanies on them, so they all cost 1. But since I have both superconductive proteins on both Cassius and Mika, I often get to play all my Shadow Reloads for free, which is why this one is so good. For the second slot, I have Psychonic Combat Suit. When a card is exhausted, plus 30% fixed shield, and obviously you're going to be exhausting all of Cassius's 000 quests. That's what they do. Exhaust, and then yeah, pretty basic. I don't know. The equipment, like I said, doesn't really matter much. Obviously, if you could have the discard one, even then that doesn't matter at all. But yeah, this one is just pretty basic. It just gives you shields for exhausting cards. And then in the attack slot, increase the damage amount of attack cards with a cost of 0 by 40%. And then, like I said, similar to the shield, every single one of Cassius's cards, they cost 0. So it's just going to be a free 40% damage amount to all of his things. So these are pretty nice. Like I said, equipment is pretty flexible. The only thing that you have to pay attention to is your epiphanies for the decks. And last but not least, moving on to Mika. My Mika is very heal focused. Every single thing heals with the exception of Deluge, obviously, and these 2 things that get exhausted out the deck anyway. So even though I have 10 cards, it's basically 7 cards after I use all of these, because this is upgrade, obviously this goes away. But yeah, I have everything on heal, even this tactical analysis. And then obviously we have Source of Water on her. This one gives me 2 AP. This section doesn't really matter at all. Epiphany, I just got it because it gives me 2 AP. 2 AP is kind of close to the 3 AP one, but that one exhausts, and I didn't want to get that. So this is the closest I could get to it. And I duplicated this 3 times, so I can just keep spamming and spamming the daggers, also while getting a nice source of AP. All 3 of these together is 6 AP for free, and then oftentimes I could just use Cassius's Joker to grab one of these cards for me, bam, instantly get 2 AP, bam, instantly make 3 daggers, so just off of this one card, and the Joker combo. Pretty good. And obviously we removed Whirlpool because everybody hates Whirlpool, and we removed Water Arrow because everybody hates Water Arrow. We do have one gear bag on here, and we do have the Forbidden Gesture of Freedom, which decreases the cost of one random card in hand by 1. So this, combined with both superconductive proteins that Cassius and Mika has, lets me play every single one of Shadow Reload for 0 cost. And then besides the superconductive protein, her other equipment pretty, but it doesn't really matter. 160 points. I couldn't really do much more with this build, and I'm pretty proud of it. That was pretty fast, but now that we've gone over Mika, that is all. Oh, the weapons and gear. Sorry, my bad. Can I check it from here? Yeah. Weapons for Tressa, I am using the 4-star Eloise. I think that's how you pronounce it. Pretty basic. The only 4-star in the game, so what other choice do I have? And then on Cassius and Mika, I have a level 1 Yvonne because of the Eagle skill. If you didn't know, the Eagle skill counts as a skill that also creates more Shadow Daggers, and it's the cheapest one, so I just threw them both on there. Worked out pretty well. I didn't have to level them up, even though maybe I would have gotten a little bit of higher score. Who really cares? As long as you get your rewards, that's all that matters. But yeah, Trust is using the 4 stars, these two are using the unleveled 3 stars, and as for the gear, not gonna lie, full stats 37 over 170, 650 attack. I'm gonna be completely transparent with you guys, I just threw these on. It obviously just doesn't matter seeing as how I got the score that I got. The the builds honestly don't matter. You could improve these if you want to. Make sure you get the 2 critical, 2 agony, and 2 attack. That's the go-to. But as for actually leveling them up and getting the perfect stats, I hardly think that matters, especially in this game mode. I just make sure to have the right set effects, and then whatever I get. You know, Cassius, I have him on Agony and HP, even though he should be on crit. Like, I don't even have him on a crit chance piece. Like, I could definitely do a lot better, but I don't need to. You get what I'm saying? I don't really need to until they kick me out of that top 1%. Then I'm gonna have to lock in. But for right now, I'm good. And I didn't even realize she was missing stuff. This is the build that I went in the run with. Like, hey, you guys, whatever works. The decks are the only thing that matters. And then for the potentials, unleveled, unleveled, unleveled. Like I said, score could be a lot higher. Doesn't really matter in the slightest. The one thing that does matter, I will say, is Cassius's right node. This is probably the only real thing that you need to focus on in the potentials, because on quest completion, gain 1 morale for 1 turn. So basically, every time you use 3 shadow daggers to complete a quest or any 3 0 cost card, you get 1 morale, which is a 20% damage buff. So this is definitely important to keep stacking and stacking the damage buff so you can do even more damage to the boss. Yeah, that's definitely the most important thing. Mika, sad to see. I know I got that money back, but I'll spend it when I spend it. I'll get to when I get to it. Just because I got money don't mean I got these potential mats to waste. You get me? Alrighty, and now that we explain the decks and how they work, for some of my visual learners who might need a little video to help them out to see exactly how the team performs, I'm going to show you guys this little clip right here. I won't show the whole gameplay because they usually take like 30 minutes to 45 minutes to beat this freaking blob, and nobody got time for all that. Also, all the agony stacks really makes my game lag, so we're just going to show this little one part right here. Obviously, I already have all the 3 shadow loads activated, the upgrade cards, so every time you see me heal, I will be creating shadow daggers. And this is on the boss's second health bar. Like, after you get through him once, he goes to another phase and he gets another. He just keeps refilling his health bars, basically. But after you hit the boss enough, I think it's on the second turn or the third turn. Correct me if I'm wrong, I don't really remember what it is. He gives you all of these cards. And these cards, basically, as they say, hold up, why am I taking so long? It's just a free draw one, and it applies weaken on the enemies. So right now, I'm just using all the cards up to get my deck before I start going crazy on him. He hits me, that doesn't really matter, he's too weak to do any real damage to me. Now, I use Joker here first, because my deck can get really clogged, so I tend to use Joker because that card doesn't create any more cards. I think I go over here and grab this Source of Water to use it for later. And then I use the Cursed Gouge because it is going to give Cassius a stack up here, but it's not a heal card, so it won't clog up my deck. As you can see, it is already full with the 10 slots, so I'm just trying to clear it out before I start going crazy. And then now I start to use the heal cards. See, I do have the three Shadow Dagger build, but it only spawned 2 because my hand is full. But what else can I do? You know, you gotta start somewhere. You gotta start cleaning it out. And then usually you save the 000s. I used it so fast, but in this situation, I don't have any choice but to use the 000 because my deck is so full. Use this, draw 1. AP is not really an issue because I have 3 Source of Waters. And then I just go and draw another curse card, use that as well. Use this one next, create some more daggers. You're going to see your hand is full a lot when you're playing this team. So I'm just trying to get the daggers out the way. And I just drew 2 full houses because I do have the upgrade epiphany on Dice Trick for Cassius. Whenever I complete a quest, I draw 2 more quest cards. So similar to creating 3 shadow daggers, whenever Cassius completes a quest with this build, he draws 3 of his quest cards. One always is going to be the 000, and then the other 2 can be any random card for every quest that he completes. I check my deck to see what I can draw. I just use both to get them out the way. I drew everything I have basically. And now we start doing business, you know. Stacking up the agony. My hand is still getting full, but what can I do? And I think it's just regular gameplay that you guys should understand from here. Deck is empty. And it's full again. It was so frustrating doing this, but whatever it takes. Just trying to use all the quest cards so I have more space for the shadow daggers. I'm pretty sure it's pretty simple from here. I'm just doing the same thing over and over again. Healing, creating daggers, creating quest cards, infinite amount of, you know. Maybe we skip ahead a bit. Skip a little bit ahead because I'm just going to do the same thing over and over again. The heal cards make the daggers make the quest cards. And then right here, I think I used the vital attack so you guys can see what I was talking about. It's like 4,757 times 3. That's insane. I'm telling you, the 10 agony damage per target stacks up. I just use it to get it out the way. Like, damn. And then I don't use Tressa's ego skill because I'm saving for Mika. And then here we see everybody's favorite number, I'm pretty sure. You can see my game kind of lag. 6969696969. And then boom. This is so funny to me. The fact that it's actually on 69. It's just going. Damn! When does it stop? Okay. I think it's at 800k it stops. Alright then. Okay, it's finally stopped. But then you just basically do the same thing over and over again. That's basically the gameplay loop. You heal, create the daggers, use the 0 cost, and then the daggers make the, or any 0 cost, not just the daggers, obviously. Any 0 cost creates the quest cards, and then you rinse and repeat. let's just skip to the end because this thing takes so long, I tell you. Let's just skip to where we ended it. I think I just had to end it here. I got him to the third phase, but I ran out of time, ran out of turns, and then boom, 829. That is the score that you guys saw me get. And yeah, pretty simple. Let's go back to the game. I had to put it on mute. Just turn it up a bit. Alright, we're still ranked 169. Let's see if that's changed. Don't take away my 69. Don't do it. Don't do it. Alright, we're still 169 at the time of this recording. Hopefully the showcases for the decks and builds, well, hopefully the showcases for the decks and the gameplay commentary that I provided did help you guys out in terms of increasing your score to get this little sticker or whatever you're doing this for, whether you're doing it for the sticker, for the rankings, it doesn't really matter. This is all for fun. There's no real rewards. Like if it was gems, hey, that'd be a whole nother story. But yeah, once again, hopefully this video did help you guys out. Make sure you like and sub if it did. This was Hayes. Peace.